Hi, it's John Kelly, and we're going to talk today about hitting slumps. As a player, man, when I had hitting slumps when I played in high school and college, it felt like the end of the world. It felt like I couldn't get out of it. I didn't know what got me there, and of course, the first thing that any hitter does, typically even to the major league level, is they focus on their mechanics. And the first thing they do is try to fix what's wrong with their mechanics. And so at the major league level, they have hitting coaches, and they'll break down video, and they'll look at mechanics. And let me say, first and foremost, as a coach, I coach on the field today in softball at the 18-goal level. Yes, mechanically, there may be a flaw in a swing. Once in a while, a hitter will get lazy over time. Maybe they've taken some time off. Their mechanics get a little bit lazy. So certainly, an analysis of hitting mechanics is a great place to start as to what causes a slump. But the real hidden key behind slumps that is almost never talked about and really never dug into is the mental side of hitting. Softball and baseball are such great sports because they're the individual, mano-a-mano, one-on-one games within the team game. And that being said, oftentimes, it's easy to take the stance, and that's a whole different video, a different program that I'm working on, to try to work harder and push through it. Let's go through the mechanics, and let's take more swings in the cage, and let's do all the things to work our way through the slump. Even the major leaguers do that. And it isn't often the answer. The answer is normally found right up here, between the ears. The answer is found in a number of different factors that influence how you or your player, your team, approaches hitting the ball. Usually I think it comes down to a number of factors. The first and foremost I find are the players that are thinkers. As humans, we have different personality types. You can go into Briggs-Myers test as one. They've got like 16 different sub-personality types. And the most dominant personality type, which creates, in my mind, or in my experience as a game coach and a mental game coach, is the thinker. The person who's always analyzing, always judging, always thinking and strategizing, and always 3 steps ahead. And that athlete gets in the batter's box and their mind just can't stop going. They work up in their mind, they've been in a slump. Oh God, this pitcher looks pretty tough to hit. I didn't get a hit the last time, in the last game, in the last tournament, and so that causes tension because all those thoughts have energy. And those thoughts that bombard their head normally in thought patterns, I call it going into the red zone or even the yellow zone, where the thinking is not positive, the thinking is doubtful. And when hitting slumps take place and they really dig their roots in the ground with each successive at bat, it doesn't meet a hitter's expectations, that slump gets worse. And the confidence starts to show more cracks in it. Like a glass window, it's got cracked. Only a matter of time before the crack gets big enough, it's going to shatter. And so as a parent or a coach, how do we get through the issue? Well, I think the first issue is to not overthink and not over-effort. Again, I'm a big believer, nowadays, it didn't used to be this way, that doing more and trying more is almost the opposite of what you should do. The game of fast pitch is a very fast game, thus the name fast pitch. The average hitter in a pitcher-hitter confrontation has got 1/3 of 1 second to make a decision as to how fast the ball is going, the movement of the balls, are rising, sinking, going inside or outside via a screwball or curve, and where is the ultimate location? I've got to focus my eyes to put the barrel of the bat on the ball, all in 1/3 of a second. It's pretty hard. And so if the mind's not empirically focused in that moment, because overthinking, overanalyzing, overjudging, and that may start in the on-deck circle, it may start before you even get on the on-deck circle, knowing you're going to hit next inning, and all of a sudden, emotions can get going, and there's no chance your athlete has to be successful if they can't focus in the moment. 1/3 of 1 second. So my first suggestion on this video, in the series of videos I'm going to have about hitting slumps, is don't overthink. Don't overthink. And the best solution right now to take away from this video is simple. Find some phrase, I call it a positive trigger phrase. Find a positive trigger phrase, come up with one for your athlete, for your team, that can get their mind to focus on what they want to. See, when we're an athlete, particularly in a moment of stress, in sort of pivotal moments of the game, we can be reactive to what our dominant thoughts are. And our dominant thoughts are fearful, stressful, doubtful, that all the thoughts are going to come shooting like comets and asteroids in a video game coming at you. Very little chance to be successful. Rather than be reactive, I want your athletes to be proactive. Have a plan. Expect this might be a stressful at-bat, particularly if you're in the middle of a slump. So the two things that I can recommend on this first video series on hitting slumps is to think of some phrase, we call it a positive trigger phrase, because the mind can't focus on two thoughts simultaneously. We can multitask physically as humans, but our mind, our brain, can't think in a single moment of more than one thought simultaneously. So what that means is that if your thoughts are in a negative place, you got to move them and shift them to a positive place. The best way to do that is you already have, canned, if you will, a statement or a phrase, an affirmation, some may call it, that I'm going to say, maybe when I'm getting the on-deck circle, maybe even before that, maybe when I get my helmet and bat in the dugout, I'm going to start that and block every other thought out of my mind. So all I'm going to think of is, I can do this. I'm a good hitter. I'm a great hitter. I can do this. I'm going to win this. I've got this. I've got this. And that's the only thing that goes through their head the entire time. The other part of what I suggest you do is to focus on breathing. When we get to a stressful situation as humans, as an athlete, we tend to take short, choppy breaths. And that short, choppy breaths, believe it or not, it does limit the oxygen intake into the mind, into the brain, into the body. So just a few deep cleansing breaths when a batter is in the on-deck circle, or even between pitches. You see hitters step out of the box with one foot and they'll look at their bat, kind of in this Zen-like focus, and take a deep breath. So the two takeaways from today's video on hitting slumps is A, don't think so much. Develop a positive trigger phrase that can focus your mind in a place that can calm the body down, allow you to focus in the box, think less, do less, and breathe. By breathing and thinking less, and I'll get more into that in greater detail in subsequent videos, it allows your batter, your team to have a shot at least, to be in the present moment, a shot in that 1/3 of a second to not have the distractions of all these other negative thoughts popping in their head. So positive trigger phrase, deep breaths, it's a good place to start. This is John Michael Kelly. I'll be back at you soon with the next video on how to master hitting slumps. Thanks for watching.